Hey my dudes, how's it hanging? It's your boy ZNF1 here. Great to be back on the survival channel, you know, after the hiatus here. Been focusing on my main YouTube channel and getting a decent amount of videos done for that. The goal is kind of to get up to that 100 video mark, so then it's having the YouTube algorithm throw it at people that are interested in those videos. I'll probably do the same here as well too with this channel once I hit that 100 video mark, you feel me? But either way, I appreciate all you guys that are subbed still and that are still supporting the channel as well. Any new views, etc. Appreciate y'all very much. Much love. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this video on 3 tips to, hopefully you guys can enjoy this new video on 3 different tips on how to use snow to survive a winter environment. Plus, you know, the one special bonus tip at the end. Before we go on into this though, let's cue intro. Now, first thing you can do is you can boil some snow down or like melt snow and turn it into water. Hydration obviously very important in any given survival situation. You really shouldn't eat snow by itself unless you have to and you're like very dehydrated, because it can cause shivering and also you can get ulcers in your mouth from doing so. In a really dire situation and you're extremely dehydrated, go ahead and get a little bit of snow and eat in a warmer setting so that way you can focus on prioritizing body heat and everything else. Whenever you're boiling snow, good thing to know is to filter it, especially if it's not the cleanest snow, you know. That's always the thing you want to do whenever you're getting snow, is make sure it's as clean as possible. No dirt or anything in it. But if you do and you don't really have much of a choice, what you can do is take a bandana or like a piece of clothing or something, fold it over, you know, and then just toss her on top of whatever container you have for your water. The reason why you do this is so that you can pour your hot water into the container that you boiled over the fire, and then, you know, it'll filter it out, so then you don't have to worry about the dirt, debris, or anything at all. So you just, you know, pour it over like so. Voila, you got some fucking drinkable snow water. On average, during a cold day, especially when you're shivering, you burn around 8,000 calories. You need all the calories you can get in a winter survival situation, because the less calories that you have means less energy, which means you're more likely to die or have hypothermia set in, etc., which you want to minimize that chance as much as possible. GoPro died, by the way. So back to the good old, you know, phone, which is looking pretty smooth. Then another thing you can do, if you have like a tent or a tarp-based structure that's set up like a tent, you can fortify or insulate it more by taking snow and putting it around the structure. So like all those straits and everything you got at the bottom of your tent, you can sit there and pile it on top of. For an example, we'll go ahead and use this log that's in front of me here and us, and we'll say that that is the straight of our tent or our structure of sorts, and we want to keep more of that heat in and the wind out. So what you do is, you know, you take that snow and pile it on top of it a couple of inches, so that way it traps all that heat that's being produced by you inside or whoever else, and it'll just trap it. As you're doing that, you're making sure that you have all your heat contained inside the shelter. Another way of which you can endure or survive the winter environment with snow is you find a pile of branches and brush, or you make one, like a little stack, you know, and you can toss some snow on top of it and make a wall with it. Basically what you're going to have there is a heat wall to reflect that heat back at you and like your bed or your fort, etc., wherever you happen to like rest at. When you're doing this though, you want to make sure that you have a couple of feet in between, like 2 at least, so that way the snow isn't melting and then turning into ice when it refreezes, which isn't really going to help very much for reflecting that heat. When you're doing that too, it's also really good to make sure you have a top-down fire, which basically means you have like brush on the bottom, some big logs on top of that, and then some small branches on top of that, you know, and like twigs and everything going up. As time goes on, it's gonna keep breaking that down, so you have a fire that lasts you for multiple hours, so you don't really need to maintain it as much. A good example would be something like in front of here, you know, like basically you could cover all of that with fucking snow and be a couple feet away and have your fire like right here per se, which is about, well, that's about 4 or 5 feet, so take a couple steps forward. So like here, maybe like I said, about 2 to 3 feet away, so that way that fire and that heat that it produces will bounce back at you, keeping you more warm and reflecting. And honestly, if you wanted to, even you can make like a fort doing that with a bunch of branches and twigs and everything like that, and make a little like U-shape and have more heat bouncing at you that way. That'd be really good and beneficial in an environment like this in the winter time, so you can keep warm. So the surprise tip to survive a wintry / snowy environment is going to be participating in cold endurance training, especially for the extremities like your hands and feet. Now, it's going to be a lot easier, in my mind at least, to do the endurance training for the body over my extremities, simply because I can just use less and less layers over an exposed / extended amount of time. An example of this would be that you're wearing a hoodie with a t-shirt underneath and some sweatpants at first in 30-degree weather, and it's not like too extreme. Now, doing that over time, your body is just going to get more and more used to the cold. So that's why it's always good to, you know, change up temperatures, what type of clothes you're wearing. You can switch from a t-shirt and sweatpants to shorts and a t-shirt over time once you build up enough tolerance for it. You know, it might seem crazy, but like it definitely does work and it can happen. I've done it. The extremities is what people complain about the most, and that's because all your veins and everything, the capillaries and the valves that are like your veins, they all constrict and close. That is to protect your body, and it's like to protect you. That's the natural response it has a lot of the time, is because it's so cold and we're not used to it. So it's like another thing to keep in mind whenever you're doing cold endurance training is that the cold makes all those vessels constrict. So never eat any big meals before you start doing cold endurance training, otherwise they're all going to constrict and like tighten up a lot, so you're going to get cold very quickly. Trust your gut. If your gut says that you can't take this absolutely at all anymore, like it's just like, I need to go inside, 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 go. Just go inside and never doubt your gut when it comes to this stuff, and you will be fine. That is the best thing I can recommend. But practicing this stuff annually though can be very beneficial and help you a lot in survival situations, which is why I do it. It helps a lot in case I ever need to have that. It also just makes my life a lot easier when I'm dealing with the cold. I'm not bitching so much about the cold and it's not as bad. First off, get a bucket or like a bowl of water. This one would be good for strictly my hand, you know, and just putting it in there for 8 minutes straight. Or you can do it in a bathtub of water like I got here. So you just take your extremities, you know, plop them in, make sure they're nice and covered. The thing to keep in mind here whenever you're doing this is that you have to keep them in there for 8 minutes, and you need to do deep breathing because you're going to experience pain. It's very natural and normal, and it's not like terrible. It won't kill you. Not having any harm done to you. You're not exposing your full body into the water, you feel me? Untrained. But doing this will help a lot, and it'll help you to make it to where your extremities don't get cold as frequently. So like doing this for 8 minutes, a couple times a week, especially closer to winter months, or if you're about to go hiking in like a very wintry type environment, really helps out a lot to do it, and it'll be so much better, and you'll be so thankful for doing it whenever you do, trust me. So you cover your extremities for 8 minutes straight, you know, and just do the deep breathing in and out. It'll help a shit ton, I promise you. Now, it's gonna suck, and you're just gonna have to get over it. You can also do things to distract you, like watch a YouTube video or a TV show, you know, that you're on. Just watch it on your phone inside the bathroom if you're doing it inside the bathtub, you know, or wherever the case may be. It'll distract your mind so you won't be thinking about the pain as much. Once the pain stops, what you want to do is, you know, take your feet out and dry them off, etc., etc. Once you do that, you're all done. Do that routinely for a while and you'll definitely see results, because it helps a lot. If you're to trip and get your foot wet, you know, really help, or vice versa with the hands, etc. The more you do this cold endurance training with water, the more beneficial it is for you long term. I hope you guys enjoyed this new video and hope you like this secret tip. It's been a blast, you know, making another survival video again after a hot fucking minute. I don't know next time I'm gonna upload a video, but hopefully it'll be in the next couple of months if, you know, weather permitting, for winter type stuff. It's been kind of all sorts of fucked here in Illinois with global warming, and then just Illinois being bipolar as shit. If you want updates, keep checking me out on my Facebook, Instagram, and all that fun stuff. So that's gonna be it for us today, my dudes. If you guys did enjoy, please don't forget to, you know, like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me whenever you guys get to this. If you guys did make it to the end of this video, go ahead and leave the comment endurance in the section below to let me know you guys are part of the 100% club. As usual though, my dudes, please don't forget to, you know, live long, prosper, take care, and peace, and keep 1,000,000% real. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Ree!